quite confident he wasn't on the script because he's a member of the administration, and once you begin, you can't end. And we have many members of the administration in the balcony, but I can't let the opportunity go by without recognizing the leader of our state's military forces, General Martin Umbarger, and his wife, Ro. General Umbarger. It's now my honor and privilege to present to you the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Indiana, Sue Ellspermann.
Thank you. Members of the Joint Assembly, pursuant to Section 13 of Article 5 of the Indiana Constitution, this joint convention of the two houses of the Indiana General Assembly is now convened for the purpose of hearing a message from the Governor of the state of Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen of the House and Senate, and distinguished guests, I have the high honor and privilege of presenting to you the Governor of the state of Indiana, the Honorable Mike Pence. The Governor is being escorted by Representative T. Brown, Representative Richardson, Representative Clinker, Representative Macer, Senator Toms, Senator Grooms, Senator Arnold, and Senator Breaux.
I think I have this. Thank you. Thank you. Speaker Bosma, President Pro Tem Long, Lieutenant Governor Ellspermann, Senator Lannon, Representative Piloth, members of the General Assembly, the Judiciary, distinguished guests, my fellow Hoosiers. I am profoundly honored to stand before you today as governor of all the people of the state of Indiana. We're all Hoosiers, and I know that together we will write the next great chapter of Indiana history. I thank you for that wonderful, warm welcome. To my colleagues who are gathered here, I say my remarks will not be as brief as last week's inaugural address, but your feet will be warmer. The Constitution of the State of Indiana provides that the governor shall give the General Assembly information touching on the condition of the state and recommend such measures as he shall deem to be expedient. In discharging that solemn duty, I come before you today to proclaim the state of our state is strong and growing stronger because we have good government and because we serve a great people of Indiana. If we will remain bold, confident, and optimistic, I am positive we can lead our state from good to great. Now, Hoosiers owe a debt of gratitude to all the leaders gathered in this room. Because of your service in the recent past, our state has become the fiscal envy of the nation and a model for how good government works. We've balanced budgets and we have surpluses when most states are broke and struggling. We're one of only 9 states with a AAA bond rating, higher than the federal government. And while we rightly celebrate our progress, it's important to note these are still difficult times for too many in our state. As we gather this evening, 250,000 Hoosiers are out of work. Nearly 1 million Hoosiers lack the basic skills they need to succeed in today's marketplace. Despite progress in education, too many of our schools are still lagging behind, some way behind. And especially heartbreaking to this father, 1 in 5 Hoosier children lives in poverty. That is simply unacceptable. With so many families and businesses struggling just to get by, we have no choice but to remain bold. We have to do better, and we will do better. And doing better starts with the right priorities, by adopting a roadmap that says yes to our future and believes in the unlimited potential of our people. And it starts by making job creation job one in this assembly and all over this state. That's why on day 1 of our administration, I signed a moratorium on any new regulations to ensure that Indiana is not burdening Hoosier employers with unnecessary red tape. And that's why we proposed a jobs budget last week. Our budget is honestly balanced, holds the line on spending, funds our priorities, builds our reserves, and it lets hardworking Hoosiers keep more of what they earn. Now let's be clear. Government doesn't create jobs other than government jobs. But government can create the conditions where people can be the risk takers, the innovators, the workers who will create the jobs and opportunities of tomorrow. And everything starts with fiscal discipline. It's the surest foundation for economic growth. I believe, first and foremost, our state must live within our means and never spend a single dollar more than it collects. So first, we've submitted an honestly balanced budget with no tax increases. Second, our budget holds the line on spending. I think the government budget should never grow faster than the family budget, and our budget is a full percentage point less than inflation. By holding the line on spending, Indiana can continue to stand out as a beacon of fiscal restraint, a state that knows how to fund its priorities in a responsible way. And our budget funds our priorities. Our budget proposes an increase in funding for education, including full-day kindergarten, and we fully fund the teacher's pension each of the next 2 years. Education funding now represents 64% of all states' expenditures. In addition, we provide $18 million over the next 2 years to ensure that all Hoosier workers have the skills they need to find a job in today's economy. And since I believe that roads mean jobs, We're investing nearly $350 million in excess reserves on Indiana's roads and bridges and infrastructure of today and tomorrow. And our budget creates a partnership with life sciences and our universities to spur research and produce high-paying jobs. And because Indiana is agriculture, we envision our state becoming a hub of food and agricultural breakthroughs by supporting the development of an agriculture innovation corridor. Indiana will continue to lead from the farm across the Midwest and across the world. Now, our budget also ensures that the Indiana Economic Development Corporation is adequately equipped to attract more business and investment to the Hoosier State and to operate with greater transparency and accountability to the public. And lastly, our budget keeps faith with those to whom we owe the most. It was Abraham Lincoln who said that we must, quote, care for him who shall have borne the battle. But in Indiana, our veterans are hurting, and they need our help. Believe it or not, post 9/11 Hoosier veterans have an unemployment rate higher than the national average. We have to do better. We owe these heroes nothing less. Heroes like Big Tim Wysong. He got that nickname on the football team in Hagerstown High School, where he graduated in 2006. Decided to join the Army. Arrived in Afghanistan for his first deployment in 2009. One night in June, driving through a village, their convoy came under attack. A rocket-propelled grenade exploded in the door, pushing a copper plate through, basically destroying Tim's left leg. Nevertheless, Tim Wysong was able to hold a 350-pound door in place, likely saving the lives of everyone in that vehicle. He's had 24 surgeries ever since. Most recent was a year ago. Last fall, he got married and did his first 5K. Big Tim Wysong is an American hero, and Big Tim is with us tonight. Our budget makes a clear commitment to Hoosiers who served our nation in uniform by investing more money in job training and certifying veteran service officers. I've also set a goal in our administration to procure 3% of state contracts for veteran-owned businesses. They stepped forward for us. Now it's our turn. And finally, our budget puts taxpayers first. Now, I believe government should only collect what it needs. And when government collects more than it needs, it should return that money to the hardworking taxpayers who earned it in the first place. That's why I'm proposing we lower income taxes by 10% across the board for every Hoosier over the next 2 years. You know, Hoosiers work hard. They labor in a tough economy. They save and invest in their families and businesses and family farms. Why wouldn't we want to let them keep more of what they earn? Now, I know there's some who say we have to choose between letting the people of Indiana keep more of their hard-earned dollars and meeting our state's priorities. But our budget clearly shows we can do both. The budget I submitted last week is honestly balanced. It funds our priorities. It reduces by 10% the tax bill Hoosiers currently pay and still maintains reserves well in excess of the resources we'd need for emergencies or unforeseen contingencies. So let's be honest with our fellow Hoosiers. We can afford to do this. But why cut taxes now? Well, first, At a time when federal taxes have just gone up on all working Hoosiers, most small businesses and family farms, and even our medical device industry, now more than ever, Hoosiers could use some tax relief. Second, this reduction in taxes will unleash $500 million into the private voluntary economy every year. Letting Hoosiers keep more dollars to spend, invest, or save will be good for Indiana families and businesses. Third, reducing the personal income tax is the best way to lower taxes on small businesses and family farms. 92% of Hoosier small businesses pay their taxes under the individual income tax rate. By lowering taxes, small businesses will have more money to hire new employees, purchase new equipment, and grow. And fourth, by lowering the personal income tax rate by 10%, it'll be official. Indiana will be the lowest tax state in the Midwest. Might just have to put that on the welcome to Indiana signs. Because we can afford to cut taxes for every Hoosier, I believe we should. On behalf of millions of hardworking Hoosiers, small businesses, and family farms, with the deepest respect, I ask for your support. Let's work together and give the people of Indiana the tax relief they deserve. Now, our jobs budget is all about getting this economy moving, but we can't succeed in the marketplace if we don't succeed in the classroom. We have to put kids first and ensure that every child in Indiana has access to a world-class education at a public school, a public charter school, a private school, or at home. We have no higher priority than the education of our kids. Now, I'm sure everybody in this chamber has a favorite teacher. Mine is sitting right up in the balcony. Our new First Lady, Karen Pence. Now, my wife has spent her career in the classroom, and we both believe that teaching is a calling, and Indiana has the best teachers in the world. When most people tell you about their favorite teacher, they tell you about the one who pushed them the hardest, who challenged them to grow, the teacher who held them to the high standards. Those teachers know that setting high expectations works, and we believe that too. Indiana teachers and schools have shown that they will rise to the challenge and make great gains for our kids. This October, we learned that 207 schools received the highest school ranking for the first time, and 43 schools moved up 3-letter grades. 28 schools moved from the lowest ranking to mid-ranking. This is a testament to the commitment and the excellence of our teachers and administrators, and proof that accountability will make a difference for our kids. Now, when it comes to education, I think we should seek to fund excellence. That's why we proposed an increase in funding for our schools each of the next 2 years, with the second year based on school performance, and an additional $6 million in teacher excellence grants to increase pay for our high-performing teachers. We've got to continue to make steps. We've got to make sure every third grader can read, promote math proficiency by elementary kids, and invest in the highly successful dropout prevention programs that are out there, like Jobs for America's Graduates. And our administration will also work with our new superintendent of public instruction to cut the red tape that teachers face in the classroom and let them teach. I've also long believed that parents should be able to choose where their kids go to school, regardless of their income. We must continue to expand educational opportunities, especially for those with the fewest resources, beginning with pre-K education. High-quality, early education programs can have immediate and long-term positive effects for our kids. Communities across Indiana are already launching efforts to provide pre-K programs for at-risk children. One of the best examples is the Busy Bees Academy in my hometown of Columbus, which serves disadvantaged children. Let's work together to expand incentives for Hoosiers to support this kind of innovative, community-driven pre-K effort for all of our at-risk kids. Now, in recent years, Indiana's given parents who previously had few choices the ability to choose the public or private school that best meets the needs of their family. This fall, over 9,000 students attended the school of their choice in this program, like Kennedy Davis and her brother Isaiah. The Davis family from Indianapolis used the voucher program to send Kennedy to first grade at Traders Point. She's a second grader there now, and her brother Isaiah is in kindergarten, thanks in part to Indiana School Scholarship and Tax Credit Program. Kennedy and Isaiah are thriving. They're amazing kids, and they're with us today. Join me in welcoming this wonderful family that's benefited by the leadership that you've provided on behalf of the people of Indiana. Keep it up, kids. Indiana's proud of both of you. And we've made progress in expanding choices, but we can do more. By expanding tuition tax deductions, removing the prior year requirement, lifting means testing for foster, adopted, special needs, and military families would be a good start. But when graduation comes, we want to make sure our schools work for all our kids, regardless of where they want to start in life, whether they're headed for college or they want to start a career right out of school. Now, let's be clear. Every Hoosier child should be encouraged to go to college. But we must also work to make sure our kids are college ready and do a better job at it and make college more affordable. To that end, we're proposing to increase funding to our state-sponsored colleges and universities and tie funding and financial aid to on-time completion. We've got to make higher education more affordable for Hoosier families. But even as we encourage every child to go to college, not every student is college bound, but they all deserve the same opportunity for success. Since I believe all honest work is honorable work, I think our schools should work just as well for our kids that want to get a job as they do for our kids who want to get a college degree. I believe the time has come to make career, technical, and vocational education a priority in every high school in the state of Indiana again. To expand career and technical education, I propose we create regional works councils to work with business and educators across the state to develop regional demand-driven curriculum to bring high-paying career options to more Hoosiers in high school. And don't think for a minute that career and vocational education is about limiting the future of some of our kids. Let me introduce you to Bill Beach. Bill and his wife, Juanita, are with us tonight, but it was hard to get him here. Turns out his New Albany-based business that specializes in injection molding and precision tool making is booming. He's running 3 shifts. He employed 600 Hoosiers in a 410,000 square foot manufacturing facility. Now, when I visited Beach Mold and Tool last summer, I was talking about this issue of career and technical and vocational education. Bill came up to me and he said, "You want me to tell you how right you are about that?" I said, "Sure." Bill told me how growing up on the farm not far from New Albany as a teenager, his dad walked up to him one day and he said, "Bill, your brother's good at book learning, so he's going to college. But you're good with your hands, so you're going to vocational school." So Bill went to vocational school. And he and Juanita started their company in 1972. As he and I stood on a catwalk overlooking this extraordinary, bustling manufacturing company, I turned and looked at him. And I said, "Well, it turns out your dad was right." And he said to me, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Well, you are good with your hands. Look at what they built." Will you join me in commending Bill and Juanita Beach for being such an extraordinary example of the American dream in the Hoosier State? Now, career and technical education can provide our students with a pathway to success, just as it did for Bill. It can launch entrepreneurs, give kids a reason to finish high school, and create a well-qualified workforce that will encourage business to build here and to grow here. We have to give our kids, our future, every opportunity for success. That means quality schools, choices about their education, and multiple pathways to success. The more our kids succeed in the classroom, the more Indiana will succeed. And lastly, I believe a society can be judged by how it deals with its most vulnerable: the aged, the infirm, the disabled, and innocent human life. That's why our budget fully funds the Medicaid forecast, meeting the projected health care needs of our most vulnerable citizens and families. That's why our budget calls for increasing funding to the Department of Child Services by $35 million, so we can protect the lives of children through additional caseworkers, supervisors, and investments in an emergency hotline. Thank you. And since an intact family is one of the surest guards against poverty, that's why on my first day in office I signed an executive order requiring that certain state agencies develop family impact statements to ensure that new rules and regulations do not unfairly impact married two-parent families. Now, nothing in this approach to preventing poverty diminishes in any way the heroic job that single parents are doing every day in the state of Indiana. My sister's a single mom. My wife was raised for much of her childhood by a single mom. We applaud the heroic job that those parents do every day. But with 22% of our children living in poverty, given the undeniable relationship between childhood poverty and unmarried childbearing, I believe Indiana should seek ways to encourage strong, healthy families for our kids and our communities and our state. The road ahead of us will not be easy, but if the past 8 years have showed us anything, it's that Hoosiers are willing to do hard things, to embrace change, to demand a government as good as our people, to build schools of promise and policies that will ensure jobs and opportunities for this generation and the next. To do this, we must continue to live within our means, hold the line on spending, and let Hoosiers keep more of their hard-earned income. We must invest in schools and roads and seek ways to support the state's most vulnerable citizens, even while we strengthen the institutions that nurture the character of our people. This is Indiana's moment. We can put Hoosiers back to work and make Indiana first. First in job creation, first in education, and first in quality of life. Together, we will build a more prosperous future. Together, we will open doors of educational opportunity for all our kids. Together, we'll approach our third century with confidence. With faith in Him who strengthened the hands of our pioneer forebears, and with boundless faith in all of you, I say from my heart, Indiana's best days are yet to come. Let's get to work. Thank you. God bless you. And may God continue to bless our beloved Indiana and all who call her home.
This joint convention is now adjourned.
House will come to order. Chair recognizes Representative Friend for a motion. Is there a second? All in favor indicate by voting aye. We are adjourned.